Hey everyone, how's it going? So last time I gave you a real quick overview of the different types of REST requests and why they matter, or as in why it matters which type you use. So now you are experts of that because my PowerPoint skills are incredible, so there's no way you couldn't be experts by now. But what we're going to do in this video is carry on with our like button implementation. Like I said, we've already got the post ID now. We're ready to actually make the call to the server and tell it to add the like or remove the like based on whether the like is there or not already. So where are we going to do this? Well, we'll go back to common.js, and at the moment we have this part right here which just logs the post ID. Now, of course, as nice as that is, we're not going to do that. So get rid of that console.log, and here we're going to make the request. But let's just make sure we do have a post ID still. So we can say if post ID equals undefined, we're just going to return, all right? We don't need to alert. We're already alerting in this get post ID from element. You see right here, we're checking if it's undefined, and we're alerting there. So if it's undefined, we'll just alert. And if you didn't already know this, when an if statement has only one line of code in it, you can condense this onto the same line. So if you wanted to, you can do it on one line like that. Okay. So if an if statement has only one line of code, you can do it on the same line. Anyway, if we get to this point, then it means that we definitely have a post ID and we're good to go. So we're going to submit an AJAX request, but what kind of AJAX request do we want to do? So I spoke briefly in the last video about the types of requests. I said that, if you'd use a post request to create resources, you'd use a get request to retrieve resources. Now we want to update a resource. That is, we're going to an existing resource, which is the post we're updating, and we're going to add a like to it. So we want to do an update request. Now, you don't get update AJAX requests or REST requests, you get what's called put requests. So you probably remember this from the last video, but we need to do a put request. Now, unfortunately, where is it? You see here we did .post right there to create the post, and then in home.js we did a .get request to submit a get request. There is no .put request, so unfortunately, we can't just say $.put like this. That doesn't exist. You only get and post requests like that. But that's okay. What we need to do instead is just say .ajax. Okay, so .ajax, and then what we're going to do is submit an object in here. So put your curly brackets in there, and I've pressed enter to move this onto the line below. We're going to specify the URL. And the URL is going to be the same as it was elsewhere. So for example, right here, we submitted it to API/posts. We're going to do the exact same thing. So it's still going to /API/posts like that. And then here is where we specify the type. So we say type, and then the type, which is going to be put like this. All right, so this will submit it as a put request. Now also what we're going to do is add the success block. So this is the block that will get called when this AJAX call returns successfully. So all we're going to do is put a function in here, a callback function as they're called. And again, this is the same callback function as you'd use elsewhere, so it would totally work if you wanted to do it this way instead. You don't have to use an arrow function if you don't want to. It's exactly the same, but I'm just going to use an arrow function, like that. And on success, we're going to return the newly updated post. So we'll just say post data. Now this means that when this returns successfully, it's going to give us back the post that was just updated. Okay, so just to make sure it works, we'll just log something for now. So I'll just log post data just for now, and we'll come back and add something proper there later on. Now all we'll have to do is to actually go and handle this endpoint for a put request. Now it's worth noting that this .ajax is just how you make an AJAX call. So it works if you did it .post like this, or if you did .get, it would work exactly the same. This would send it as a get request, so you don't have to do it this way where we've said .post. This .post, for example, is just a shortcut for this, obviously where that would be .post in that case, but this is just a shortcut. It does the exact same thing as specifying the URL and type as post. But we're going to use put, so make sure you put that back if you were changing it. So type equals put, and then all that's left to do is handle this on the server. So real quick, I'm going to go down to here. First, actually, I'll copy this. I don't want to type that out again. So I'll copy this, and I'll paste it below, and then I'll remove the code from the inside of that block because we only wanted to copy the declaration right here. So this isn't going to be a .post request, it's going to be a .put request. So change that to .put, and that's it. Now we are going to specify an ID here, probably in the next video, but I just want to make sure it works for now, so we'll come back and do that later on. For now I'm just going to say res.status. Now the status you'd usually use for a put request is either 200 or 204. Now 204 just means no content, but it was successful. Okay, so if something gives you a 204, it usually means what you were trying to do has succeeded, but I have nothing to give you. Whereas a 200 often just means success, but usually you'd get something back. Not always, but usually you get something back. It doesn't matter too much, but I think 200 is the appropriate one right here. And then finally, we'll just send something, because we're echoing it on in our code in common.js, we'll just give us something to echo, and I'll just echo Yahoo. All right, let's go ahead and restart the server, and let's see this come to life. So I return, and I will, okay, here we are. Let's press the like button. All right, there we go, it works. So it's making a put request to the server, and then it's handling it here, giving us back Yahoo, and we're echoing it.